You're listening to the Precision Shooting Podcast, discussing all aspects of precision and long-range rifle shooting. This episode is brought to you by Impact Dynamics. And now, over to your hosts.
Well, hello and welcome to the Precision Shooting Podcast. My name is Rusty and this is episode number 123. And got the regular crew in here. Andy, right next to me, wearing the Delta Tactical Steelpocalypse shirt. Nice and bright, mate.
Yeah, it seems to be all my wardrobe these days are just like match tops.
I'm pretty much saying the same. I'm wearing the new Ignition custom one for the match next week.
Awesome.
This one's a hoodie. This one's real flash. Although it's getting quite warm in here. Bronte, speaking of getting warm in here, how are you, mate?
Yeah, well, and yourself, Rusty?
Good. I thought you said willing.
Well, hey, you know,
Okay.
it's not one to rule anything out.
It's getting warm and Bronte's willing. Speaking of willing, Dutchy, how are you on the subject, mate?
Oh, I feel like I'm going to let the team down. I'm not willing. No.
Disinterested?
Oh no. I don't know where that was going, so I'm just opting out.
Not. Yeah, I think we should all opt out, Bronte.
I don't think that's a bad life decision.
Good. So it's been a few weeks since our last session together. How's everyone done any shooting?
Yes.
Yes.
I
So
have.
Andy is. You went hunting with your yeet cannon, didn't you?
Yep.
For those who are following
well.
Instagram. Yeah.
Yep.
How'd it go?
No, it was a really good trip. Just went a couple of hours north of Orroroo, which is probably 6 hours north of Adelaide for people who.
Yeah, 5, 6-ish.
Yep. So, yeah, it was good. Just a quick 2-night sort of spiel, just with a couple of mates. Get the campfire going, run a mark, get some bit of hunting in. Yeah, playing around a bit.
Very nice, mate. Very nice. And you got plenty of game.
Yes, yeah. So we were after just a few goat up there, mainly for meat. But yeah, obviously they're
Some were for company, were they? Well, I don't know. What else do you...
well, they were a bit
Mainly for
stiff
meat,
and,
but,
a bit
you know.
stiff and cold. But
It was a cold night. I was a lonely man.
So Dutchy is willing.
yeah, I reckon.
All aspects. Good. Okay.
Yeah. So apart from that, yeah, obviously just getting a few roos as well and bits and pieces. So
Excellent.
yeah, no, it was
Excellent.
good.
Bronny, what about yourself, mate? You been shooting?
No, not very much at the
Yeah,
moment.
out the other weekend at the club. Trying to think if you were.
Yeah, I did
Yeah,
actually. Yeah,
yeah.
I shot this in a fire match.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Did you win?
Don't think so.
Did
I think
anything
you did
break?
all right.
I did okay.
Did
Well,
anything break?
only, yeah, a little bit. Yes, a little bit.
Okay, what broke?
No, I was punching a couple primers to start with, and then I did a bit of on the range tweaking and reduced the depth of protrusion on my firing pin, which seemed to resolve the problem, which was great.
Good.
And then I got my magazines mixed up. I've got one magazine that feeds great, one magazine that leaves a bit to be desired, and
Yep.
that kind of frustrated me a couple of times. But
Yeah. Okay, good. Dutchy, any shooting from yourself, mate, or are you still just prepping?
It's been so long I can't remember. I'm going to have to...
Just say yes. Just say yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, good. I'm glad it went well for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, excellent. Good. Well, I went shooting today.
yeah, right.
Oh, no, those were snap caps. No, I haven't.
Sorry, I thought we'd moved on. My bad.
Yeah, you moved... Oh, I wasn't willing.
I went shooting today, although today's shoot was one of those, I don't know if you guys have done it, an administrative shoot. So I went out and just like ran off the end of some ammo here and just freed up some brass there and just tied it up, said some leftover 9mm this packet, 8 rounds of this and 10 rounds of that, and just virtually just an ammo dump really. Just got rid of stuff and then realised that the 3 guns I was also meant to bring down, I forgot. Yeah, I took 7 with me, and I was meant to take 10. It seemed. Anyway, that's what happened when you prep for a shoot at 1 a.m, and then get up early and go organise it. But it doesn't quite go to plan. But I hit some targets, so that was good.
Well, that's generally the aim.
Yeah, I get it. Aim, nice.
Oh,
Well done.
Double entendre.
Spot on. So yeah, I had an administrative shoot, and it was good. But I shot the rimfire match the other week.
Oh, yeah? How did that turn out for you?
Slowly. I was still recovering from a
yeah.
back injury.
Yeah.
and I.
So you didn't do well. Is this leading into the excuse why you didn't win?
No, I did okay.
Damn it.
Did all right. But I was just slow. So I did. I didn't go through the. I didn't finish many of the stages for that reason. So just took it easy, and still not unhappy with hitting. My hit rate was okay. I was okay with the hit rate. So, but
You had fun.
I did enjoy it. Yeah, and
the
what
aim.
was really exciting about that particular shoot is my squad was 5 of us, myself 5 or 6, myself and Trav Harris, and then we also had 4 guys, three other guys in our squad who were all borrowing a gun from me. So one was a really new shooter, one was a irregular shooter, Aaron from Kai Kai.
Oh, yeah,
and,
yeah.
and then one was Dan Inkle, who
Oh, right.
got out for a shoot, which was
Lovely.
great to see him out for it. He's been on this podcast several times, and he probably hasn't shot a gun for near on a year and came 4th. So
Yeah, right.
he absolutely smashed it, which was not unexpected.
Yeah, it's
Dude knows what
he
he's
knows
doing.
what he's doing.
Yeah, but it was good fun. A good rimfire shoot, and had a bloke come out, and it was his first time out. I think he's just got his license. I think he's just got a gun or something, and rekindling the affair with firearms from many years ago, and he hadn't even brought a gun to the thing. He just wanted to check the club out, and we're sitting around for lunch. I'm like, "Are you going to shoot the comp?" He's like, "Yeah, all right," and I'm like, "Spot on, mate. Like that's just."
Jump in.
He didn't even have a gun or ammo, and he's just like, "So, does someone have a ammo and gun that I could use?" I'm like, "Yeah, we got you covered there." But just your attitude of, "Yeah, I'll shoot it," because you can only learn by doing. So
Absolutely.
that was really really good to see. Highly encouraged by that.
As rimfire shoots are great like that. They're very accessible to
Yeah.
a new shooter.
Yeah.
You can have a lot of fun even without, all the gear.
Mm.
Everyone's willing to go your hardest.
Yeah.
$5 of ammo, go knock yourself out.
That's right. It's not like anything so overly expensive. But someone was telling me that they were out shooting 50 cal the other day.
Oh,
and they were, pinging $10 a trigger pull. I'm like, that's an entire rimfire match for me.
Mm.
Yeah. and that's pushing it. Yeah. So 50 cal's not quite my bag. Although I've seen a couple of guys practice some 50 cal stuff for the upcoming world titles, or at least national titles at Warwick and Beale coming up. So I think, Matt, I might try and get those boys on, talk about it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because it's interesting for sure. It's not.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm not heaps keen on shooting it myself because I value my shoulders, but it's.
One of those things you'd have a crack at it at least once.
Oh yeah, I've shot them before. Yeah, it's not something I'm shying away from. I've shot them, but I'll let them do it. It's good fun. So what else is coming up? We got the Steel Slam coming up at our club at Practical Shooting SA. How many of you guys shooting that? You shooting it, Andy? You haven't booked in, have you?
I haven't
No?
booked in.
Yeah, but you're going to shoot it.
I hope so.
What do you mean?
I
you
need to.
hope so?
Well, I
You
need to
need-
look at my deeds.
Oh yeah,
work
make sure you're
commitments and-
around. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
What about you, Bronte? You going to have a crack?
I should.
Yeah.
I haven't got myself organised yet.
I think you should aim to do it.
I should aim to.
Yeah.
And eventually I might hit.
Yeah. No, it's going to be good fun. It's Brennan, can we convince you?
I'm definitely in there.
In for it?
Whose rifleman ammunition am I
You
using?
can use mine.
There you
Yeah.
go. Bang.
If I was
See,
to
all
borrow
you
one
gotta,
of
all
those,
you
I'd
gotta
borrow
do.
Andy's. Mine's not very reliable.
Yeah. Bloody magazine. Oh, firing pins protruding too far. Dash
Oh,
it
my
all.
bolt handle fell off. Yeah. Oh no.
Actually, surprisingly, that didn't happen.
Surprisingly. Yeah.
Eventually, the Loctite was enough.
Good. So cool. Well, you should. That's 14th of September for anyone listening. If
Oh, I'm
you're
out. Sorry, no.
Bugger. If you're anywhere near Monarto, can get Monarto that way. You can camp there for a couple of nights. We've got plenty of guys. Both this will be their first match, their first larger match for some of them, their first match of any type for some of them, and also some guys who are really experienced to share their wealth and their knowledge. Maybe not their wealth. I'm not sure they're so keen on that. And it will be it's a bigger event, but it's pretty low key in terms of there's not a lot riding on it. Although, have we
Depends if you
mentioned?
make some side bets.
Well, there is some side bets going on with
Ooh.
the match. We've mentioned the State of Origin, haven't we?
Oh yes.
Sure, we've mentioned the State of Origin. So that match as an aside, it's an individual match. You go and shoot, enjoy, and have fun. Have got a little bit of a plan for something a little bit different, unusual with one of the stages, but you have to wait to see what that is. The State of Origin side of things, it's going to be, I think, the top 4 shooters from both SA and Victoria. Their scores will go towards the State of Origin trophy to work out which state is best. I mean, we know which state is best, but to like put the trophy in the hands of whoever does it right on the week. Well, it really depends. If SA wins, course SA was the best, so that's it. Whereas if Victoria win, they just had a good day.
Well, it just becomes an encouragement.
That's
more
right.
then.
Yeah, but they're still in the beginning stages of their club, so we want them to
supporting
feel good.
Yeah,
So
it's
we'll
a bit like
have,
you do with left-handers.
let's not stick to that level. So let's keep this upper class, mate. And so we look forward to that State of Origin side of things, and then heading over to Victoria and if we've donated them the trophy for a little while, we'll go over there and grab it back from them.
Yep, that's it.
Yeah, it's a little bit sort of admin sort of work. That's good. What else we got to mention? The Precision Rifle Australia group that we mentioned in the last podcast and had a few people jump on board has grown, which apparently these things do on Facebook. And I think it's somewhere in the vicinity of 500 and something plus people.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Let's have a little look. I should have prepped it earlier, but
We can edit this out.
No, we don't edit anything out ever.
Yeet.
I don't even know how to. There we go. 625 members. That's jumped up since I last looked. Anyway, so thanks to guys who have jumped in on there, and it's been really good, particularly those guys who are asking questions or replying and putting up information. And there is some we like to think we know a fair few of the guys who know their stuff around the country, and those guys are commenting and being involved in discussions. It's really good to see that knowledge being shared. So thanks to the guys who are achieving what we were hoping to achieve, is like a really good resource and good knowledge base directly related to PRS and precision rifle and all those things, all aspects of those things. Well, most aspects. We save all aspects for this podcast, of course. Let's do this as a new segment that's just we've just decided to do. Top post from Precision Rifle Australia. We're going to check out and comment on. Hi everyone, I'm currently have a 243 hunting rifle, but I'm new to precision rifles and looking at getting one soon. What caliber would be good beginner size for club competition? Any recommendations and advice would be greatly appreciated. Good advice so far.
Yeah.
Well done.
What sort of club use? That's obviously
Based on the group, I'm assuming it's a PRS
Yeah.
style thing. To be honest,
Yeah, well, new to precision rifles and looking to get something for club use. So, yeah.
As much as I hate to say it, 6.5 Creed is a pretty good choice. Your 243, there's nothing wrong with that either, to be honest. Yeah, either 243 or 6.5 Creed are as good as anything.
Yep, it's working for me.
I'm gonna throw something different in the mix. I don't disagree with what you guys said, but we may as well just throw another answer in there. 223. I'm going to
Yes.
put in a 223 as a potential, making sure your twist right. Good job, great Badco. Twist rate is correct.
Is that because you don't like spotters?
Well, given that most clubs at the moment, sort of sub 500 meters or 500 meters, and if you're going to be shooting clubs, really, really good to be shooting monthly or however often they run, and so keep your ammo prices down. Now, this is with the mindset it's in conjunction with a higher level comp gun, perhaps, or you're working towards that sort of thing. But a 223, if that's what you got or that's what you want to do, and keep your ammo prices down, I will suggest that is a good consideration. I am, and I know that I'm not the only one at my club, our club, because pretty much all there. No, the only one not at our club who is thinking about getting a 223, or I've got a 223 barreled action, chucking into something, putting a scope on it, and using that for the club comps, so you can shoot the club comps without any sort of significant financial burden, and then save the nicer guns or the other ones for some practice, maybe the occasional club comp. Maybe if there's a comp the week before a PRS match or something like that, really sensible. But for the week in, the week out, the month in, month out comps, keep that price down.
That's a stupid idea.
Yeah, I mean, I've pretty much done that. I had
That's what you're doing?
had an old Remington 223.
It was actually my idea. You owe me royalties.
What? Oh, okay. Sorry.
As much as most people may disagree, but a 308 is probably also not a bad option for that. For the added benefit is you probably learn a little bit more about your recoil management with a 308 than you would over a 223.
Yep.
But if you get, I mean, my 223 doesn't have a brake, so it's actually feels quite similar to the 6.5.
Yeah,
with the
okay.
brake.
Very cool. Yep.
Okay.
But yeah, no, I like the fact that I can go to the range and punch through 70, 100 rounds. Well, thinking about it now, it's still quite expensive. But yeah, it's a lot less expensive.
Well,
At
you're
$1.
talking like $1 a shot versus
Yeah, that's it.
the ballpark of $1.60.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that's it. You get more trigger time and more practice.
Yeah, and I know a number of guys are looking at doing that and running factory ammo through
Yeah,
it. So
that's it.
Well,
being able to
some of that
keep
OSA
it-
stuff
Yeah,
is
smash it.
Well, that's it. Yeah, I've-
pretty
69
bloody
grain.
consistent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's what I use for all my hunting stuff as well now. It's solid.
Okay. Anyway, so we now have a new segment. Each episode, we'll grab the top question or the current latest question on that group and answer it. We may not do that next episode, so just or ever again. But anyway, it was good so far.
All aspects.
All aspects. Probably actually doubles up with some questions we're about to hit shortly, but that's tis the case. Tis the case. I did a much requested, no one asked for it, a YouTube video the other day for Atlas bipods. Where we covered all the different models, although it is a question I get a lot. Like, what's the difference between all these different models? They all look the same, which is pretty fair. So if you haven't seen
just
that,
got tired of lying to them. They're all the same.
just buy it.
It's
So
semantics, really.
yeah, just one of each really is probably what you need.
This one looks like it's got a sling swivel attachment. Nah. All the same.
They've all got eliminators.
Exactly. Yeah.
They're all top quality.
They are actually.
Yeah, that's actually the back part of it, didn't it? Because they are actually decent.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
and you caught me with no drink. Thanks, guys. Someone said quality. Go on.
Patreons may be the only ones who get that actually.
I've actually noticed I've started saying quality more just in my day-to-day vocabulary after a certain gentleman.
But you got to say it 3 times to really
God, I've been
emphasise
drunk
it.
a lot. Yeah.
Quality.
Good. So
I've been shooting in water.
From grass.
Yeah.
so I did that video, and so hopefully if that's helpful to you, if that's a question you've got about Harris bipods, run through pretty much all the models. Just missed one, which was
Atlas.
the same. Oh, Atlas.
Didn't you
Sorry,
say Atlas?
Atlas. All the models of Atlas. I should clarify.
The whole Atlas.
All aspects
Yep,
of
all
Atlas.
Round Atlas.
The entire Atlas.
Atlas
I
is
went
normally
through the
the globe.
Atlas.
Not globe.
Globe. It's actually an oblique spheroid, technically. But anyway.
Good. Dutchy's got a follow up when he where he takes you around the world with an actual atlas.
With an Atlas.
Yeah, covers all aspects of the atlas.
All Atlas. Atlas.
Good. You definitely got a mouth for radio, mate. Good.
Cheers.
Excellent.
I
All
wish I
right.
could say the same for you, but
Yeah,
you know,
no,
you're
definitely.
stuck doing podcasts,
I
and
know.
I'm out setting the world on fire with my radio Atlas technique.
Good. So we put up on Facebook and Instagram that we would like some questions for tonight, because in doing all these podcast videos, I realised we haven't done like a straight, flat out questions episode. So we're going to do a couple of those now. We have a question that came in. All right. So this email came in from Chris Gabelli. I believe Chris is in the US. Here we go. Just wanted to say that I really enjoy your podcast. Nice to hear someone who covers all aspects of precision rifle shooting, and long range. Just so he's got that covered. With that being said, that is why I'm reaching out to you and your group. Here we go. He's going to call us on whether we cover all aspects.
This is
I just-
dangerous.
Yeah, before we get into this, I just want to clarify. We did point out that we don't necessarily cover them well. We just cover them all.
It's a bit of a broad brush
Yeah,
approach.
absolutely. We cover them.
Mhm.
Yeah. Level of competency is up for discussion. This is my first year competing in long range competitions. I competed in 6 or 7 so far. That's good. But I'm getting ready for my first low light comp. Since I'm in the United States and night shooting is very limited, what kind of advice or tips/tricks should I be aware of so I do not make a complete ass out of myself? Any help is truly appreciated. Either way, keep up the good work. Your podcasts always make me laugh.
I don't really think that we should give much advice about being an ass, because we're kind of not being an ass. We kind of fall into that category generally, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's me and Bronte out. So
Over to you guys.
I was just going to say, get a good torch, get a good spotlight,
Mhm.
low light, just get more light down range.
So let's clarify this by saying I don't believe any of us has shot a night competition yet.
No.
No, but we have. I suspect all of us have shot extensively spotlighting.
Yes.
And so I'm sure we can, Chris, we can talk about the lessons we could draw from that across. You may have to apply them to a competition aspect, but we can tell some of the things that we would do in that spotlighting scenario that you may be able to apply to the competition side of things. And just a little shout out to Butters, night stages
Oh,
next
yeah,
year.
yeah.
Butters,
Nice,
come
yeah.
on, listening,
Mm.
get onto it. Anyway, Andy,
Just-
you look like
just-
you're raring to go.
Did he say long range night shoot? Was it a long range comp?
It is a long range comp,
Yeah.
but it'll be like a normal sort of
Yeah.
PRSy type comp
Yeah.
with distance. Yeah. Sorry,
Does it? Sorry, I was just sort of trying to clarify on what
Yeah.
a low light comp is.
dark,
Just trying to.
It's dark.
dark.
Not
Usually.
very much
Dark.
light.
Not a lot of light.
That's very vague
Yes.
and somewhat not answering my question. So what? I
Well-
guess what I'm trying to say is, are the targets lit up, or do you have to provide your own light,
It's
or is
a-
it just at dusk, sort of dawn dusk?
It's a fair question, Dutchy. Fair enough, you got us. So some of these matches will generally either light the target up with a light nearby to it, or what Butters has often run up there is they'll use a spotlight to light up the target. So either could be a scenario. He doesn't specify. I know some of these, some of them shoot through a lot of stuff. A lot of these matches don't get shot in that dusk type scenario because it changes so quickly that it's sort
Yeah,
of
not really fair if you got
Someone's
50
bound to
shooters and
complain.
yeah. So you would wait till it is dark and then shoot it
Yeah.
and go from there.
I thought you'd just
Get
shoot
back to-
everyone at once and ask who hit.
It's
Who
all-
hit?
Yeah, everyone. Yeah.
The honest
Jeez,
system.
these guys are good.
Full scores for everyone. Oh, it's a tough one to break that.
Can't separate them.
Righto, Andy, you're onto a topic there before.
I was just something I've noticed with my new scope that I've got is the illumination is very, very useful.
Yeah.
Like even on like just the 1 or 2 power, which is very, very dull.
Yep.
It just brings up something more than a vague black line. Yeah. I'd say that's probably a must.
Yeah, illuminated reticle could be help, and also be a little bit mindful of your magnification, and potentially back your magnification off a little bit more than what you normally would. For say you're shooting at 500 meters, you normally at 15 power. Back it off to maybe say 10 or 12, and it helps let a bit more light in, so you get a bit brighter image.
Yep. One thing that I know we used to do, particularly when spotlighting. So if you are dialing, for example, if that's going to be more convenient or efficient for you, have the hats that'll have a light on them, or you can get ones with LEDs built into the peak, or you can get the magneto speed, make a little light that clips under your hat, something along those lines. So you can, if you're going to lift your head up to look at your turret, you're actually shining a light on it, but it's not going to come into the scope to be a distraction in that sort of things, because you don't want a light to be shone behind you, because that'll hit your glass and it won't be ideal to look through.
Yeah.
But to have a light that is in that vicinity, I know I've seen other guys who have mounted lights to their rings and sort of shoot it up onto the turret, so you get a little bit of light. Often, in the spotlighting side of things, it's a red light, so it doesn't attract a lot of attention. But something along those lines, so you can see that, and the hat light works well because you can keep it sort of whatever you're looking at will work well, but it won't enter the scope.
Little fishing glow sticks also work quite well for that similar
Yep.
similar arrangement.
Yeah, I suppose that'd be handy for your fish chart and all that as well.
Yep, absolutely.
And low light between stages, I suppose, getting yourself prepped for the stage.
Backlit Kestrel is probably really useful. I assume they're probably all backlit now, the 5700s.
I think so.
I'm not sure. I've not played with one enough, but
Yeah, they are. Mine is.
One tells the range.
It's a pretty fancy one.
Dutch and I watched a YouTube clip the other night where there was a sniper team. Well, no, clearly it wasn't. It was an actor team pretending to be snipers, and the shooter would ask the spotter, "What's the range?" And she held up a Kestrel, and they went 903 meters or something. It's like, wow,
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
best Kestrel ever.
Could have already been dialed in. Just confirming the range that, like, they've ranged it 900 something meters and go, oh, what was it again?
I know the wind blew them away at 13 meters a second.
Wow,
that's
that's
a strong
some
wind.
strong wind.
Well, it did blow them away.
Yeah.
In all seriousness, though,
Yeah.
it could have actually been linked to a
Oh,
Bluetooth.
turn it up.
It
They
wasn't.
just-
It
they
was.
just-
It was a 4500 model or that sort of iteration. So no,
They didn't look like they'd been out of the bloody powder
Makeup,
room
yeah.
much longer than 5 minutes. They didn't know anything.
because I always wear makeup when I'm sniping.
Got to look your best.
I do. This is the best it gets, mate. This is the best it gets. Right. Anyway, so any more advice for Chris? Any other sort of? I mean, we've been spotlighting for years. I mean, well, actually, one question back to you, Chris, which is not really helpful on a podcast, but because it would change significantly if the area you're shooting from is lit or dark. So if the area you're shooting from is lit, whatever, do whatever you like. If the area you're shooting from is dark, you know, I might mention lights, but just in general, like think about that, like get to know your gear. Rummaging through your bag in the dark may actually be a useful thing to practice and know which bag you're grabbing out or anything along those lines, or having light with you. These things are pretty important, and you know you don't generally run as much kit when you're spotlighting, but you know where stuff is. I mean, being able to like grab a box of shotgun ammo, open it up with one hand holding the shotgun wrapped around the ute, and then trying to dig through the box of ammo to get ammo out is a skill that is useful. and
All
has
while
been
everyone's
applied.
yelling, there it is. There
it is.
Hurry up! It's running
There it
away.
is. Can't you see it? Like, no, I can see it. I'm just not ready. Remember those last 2 shots that came out? They were only 2 shots. I've got to put 2 new ones in.
Oh yes, shooting in
Yeah.
Australia.
Yeah,
It's usually a lot more swearing. But
yeah. Well, family show.
Sure it is.
Probably just another one. Obviously, it depends on the setup, as you mentioned before, whether the area you're in is lit or whatever else. But be just probably
Anywhere I am is
mindful.
lit.
Oh, always is. Be mindful of your night vision and maintaining it. So you know, if you got your phone on you, or whatever.
oh, just
turn
after you
the-
said I was lit, I wanted to hit
Which one?
the gangster
dum.
one. Yeah. But I didn't want to just reach. That would just be highly unprofessional.
Yeah, let's not do that. Right, I think we've recovered them all. Green one if you need it. The yellow one is
green
the
for
Russian.
gangster.
So
Yeah.
I've shifted
that doesn't
the
make sense. The red one should be.
the red one's this, which makes sense to me.
It's logical.
Yeah.
They can't all be red.
Well, actually, they can.
They can, but that's just confusing. Hit the red one.
So I've moved the Road podcaster over, and Dutchy now has access to it, which could be the,
Mate,
the
you
best
couldn't have
Poor
said
life
that.
decision.
If I wanted to do that, you couldn't have stopped me.
until I sent
Even,
you,
even if it
sent
was
you-
over there.
sent you the bill for all the things you broke.
Yeah. Well, I'll put it on the tab.
Anyway, sorry. Other spotlighting suggestions?
Oh, jeez,
Anything
it is
else?
red.
So you're saying, yeah, don't look at your phone, maintain your.
Not so much don't look at your
Nice.
phone, but basically back the
Yeah.
brightness of your phone right down and try to maintain your night vision. Because, you know, you basically, without getting into the biology behind it, but essentially you limit your exposure to bright lights.
Yep.
And try and limit your exposure to the bluer end of the spectrum. And it helps maintain your night vision. Just, yeah, helps you see things.
Just wear
in
an
low
eye
light.
patch on your scope eye.
Yes.
Be a buccaneer.
Yes, Pirate Pete.
It'll work.
Yeah. Yes.
And if he wins with his patch, it'll be the next big thing. People will go, oh, the guy who wore the patch won because his eye was never.
compromised.
Yeah.
All aspects.
I like to have it. By the way,
I will
all-
patent that idea.
all those buttons are red now, Dutchy.
Ridiculous suggestions. Patented.
Yep. You didn't even you went to reach for it and nothing. You didn't even press the button. Perfect.
Yeah, I know what. And this is the Russian one.
Well done.
This is the buzzer. Yeah, I memorized them all.
Yeah. Good. I'm just going to hit mute on that channel. I think there we go.
Yeah, but I saw how you did it. Better go. You look away. Yeah.
Right. Good. Well, Chris, hopefully all the best, mate, for your night match. I know there's some there's pretty cool night matches over there that happen, and hopefully we see some of that over here. That would be very good. Actually, you know, the biggest resistance, and this probably sums up things over here a little bit. The biggest resistance we've seen when night matches have been suggested has been like, but that's drinking time. When would we? When we can't shoot at night, that's when we drink. And there's been
It's
no,
actually a pretty valid point.
there's been no thought of like, maybe if we're on a night match and we don't start till like 7 o'clock at night, we could like drink after and then not go to sleep until 10 in the morning and sleep all day, particularly in Darwin where it's hot and sleeping in the day is actually pretty good in aircon. Anyway, sorry, that's far too logical. Let's bring it back to all the other things. I do like that has been the biggest point of contention with the night match, though.
It's a legitimate concern.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, we have the next question here.
I've never even thought of that. Like, oh yeah,
And what would you do all day?
you can't drink while you shoot.
You
Yeah.
can't drink all day.
sleep.
Well, maybe that should be a good one. Don't rock up drunk.
Yeah, that's good advice for a match. Yeah, absolutely. We didn't have that question though. Next question's regarding twist rate from Andrew Noble. What do you think would be the required twist rate to stabilise Burger 105 hybrid 6mm projectiles? For listeners of the show who have been around long enough, well done, Andrew.
I'd
Good
be leaning
job.
towards it.
Good throwback. Well done. For those who are not familiar with Greg's twist rate problems, go back to episode about 6 and carry on from there on in. Well done, Andrew. Good throwback. Good job. Timo or Timo. I don't know
Does
how
that
to
mean
say
that they, in all of those episodes he was on, they never answered that question?
I think he answered it.
Or is
for
that just
himself.
funny? He's making a funny.
It's hilarious, mate. It's hilarious. Right.
All
good
red.
job. All red.
Yeah.
Timo or Timo? Don't know how to say that. Anyway, going from a 6.5 to a 6mm, worth it for PRS, and which 6mm to choose? Oh, we've opened it all up. Andy's shaking his head about a bit. Because you're probably in this position, aren't you? You're running a 6.5 Creedmoor at the moment in production and thinking you're probably flicking over to open, or you'd be over to open next year one way or the other. And
Unless you tank.
doesn't matter how bad he tanks. He's into open next
My
year.
yeet tank. I think it's a bit bigger than 6, but 6 inch.
Right, no need
I
to
don't
show
know.
off, mate.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Now when good
Yeah.
teams just go, oh no, I want the next year's best draft pick, so they play like crap.
Yeah.
That concept.
Yeah.
You throw all the matches.
But then the
So everyone, if he does really poorly,
we know what's going on. That's why I said
just
he's
sucks.
open anyway. Doesn't
yeah,
matter.
because he's
Yeah.
open anyway.
I've accepted that.
That's right. So you're probably in that position of rebarreling or doing something perhaps different next year. Where does this question sit with you, mate?
So tossing up between the 6.5 or the 6. I'll probably stick with 6.5, purely just for those really windy, gusty days. You're going to have a bit more weight,
Okay.
I think. Yeah, I don't know.
Bronny, did you want to ruin his dreams or should I?
Well, it depends how quick you're pushing it.
So, correct. Comes down to how fast you're pushing it.
Yeah.
Makes a
Yeah.
difference. And you can, relatively speaking, push the 6s a lot closer to that velocity limit.
Yeah.
And within the ranges that the PRS matches are generally shot within Australia.
900 metres now.
Even still within 900,
Yep,
it's
absolutely.
bugger all, but the majority of your shots, a high velocity 6mm, yeah, it wins.
Yeah.
But do we know where this guy's from?
No, I don't know actually.
I just want to be nice to the spotters, make it easier for them.
Yeah, the 6s still make enough of a mess. It's just the guys that run the 223s that are the hateful people.
Well, he's been to rifles only, so
States. Okay.
so he's either been there or he's had a sex change in that photo. Righto. Okay. Anyway,
we digress.
thanks for your comment. Now that we've there we go. Said something about UK from London, England, from London, UK. So
Well, I said he was from England by the look of that hat.
right.
He
yeah.
did make that call, yeah.
Yep.
Good.
Yep.
Plus, he's an AI supporter.
Yes, that's why I thought it was UK.
And that looks like the back of a defender. Oh, no, it doesn't. I don't.
Yep. I like that style, the stance he's got. It's good. Anyway, what was the question? Where's he from? England.
Where's my hat from?
Well, no.
Oh, that wasn't the question. Oh,
No.
geez. Sorry.
It's going to be relative to the answer as far as if he wants to shoot PRS Open in Australia, given that the ranges are, for most of your shots, are sub 600 metres for
Mhm.
vast majority of your shots.
Majority, for sure.
Something like a 250 AI running the 95 grain Match Kings would
Mhm.
be a pretty formidable combination because it's got essentially no recoil.
Yep. But that wasn't his question.
Yeah, but that's right. It was to if he was saying 6.5
expanding
or
it,
6,
you're expanding
but you want to take it to the next one of
One
less
75
recoil.
or anyway.
Yeah, nah.
Yep. 6.5 to 6. Yeah, you recall. Guys seem to be chasing recall.
Yeah, and that's where the 22-250 AI with a heavier projectile or 95 gram projectile, your BC is pretty
good.
respectable.
Yeah.
You're pushing it right up to that 3,200 feet per second limit, and you put a horrible brake on there to annoy everyone. It really doesn't move much.
Yeah. So 6 mil. That's your answer. Are you showing justification for that?
Yeah.
As to which 6 mil, there are just so many options. There's just so many options. Yeah, and I think it's really comes down to what combination, what you can get, what you're chasing, how customized you want to go, how variable if you want to be out of by factory, all those sort of things are considerations.
Yeah, I think availability of components would be a big one.
Yeah, they're all factors. If none of that is an issue,
Mm.
I mean, BRs, something like Gay Tigers. I mean, depends on how you dress, but if someone like me, Gay Tigers is right up there. I think.
I don't know what is that? Is that a joke?
No, it's a 6 mil GT. It's a legitimate cartridge.
It
Yeah.
is.
So
There you go.
Dutchy will catch up. All right, next
I
one.
won't. I'm unwilling.
Forget that.
It's not covered into all aspects.
Greg Hamilton.
You're right. I should be more open.
Greg Hamilton's made. Well, he's not really asked a question, but he's made a comment here. Positive self-talk and managing your conversations at big matches. Being wary of having everyone tell you their mistakes. Any thoughts on the mental side of things at a PRS match? Andy? Yeah.
Yeah.
You're probably most recent at the most significant level.
I just play with everyone else's mind. Just put doubt into everyone's.
You're a prick.
I think Nick does that best though. He just heckles the shit out of everybody.
Yeah, he does, but I'm not sure he does it in any significantly conscious way. he's
He's just enjoying himself.
Exactly right.
And he's providing entertainment for everybody else. It's great.
not wrong. Yeah.
That's why you got earmuffs. Just turn them off.
That's why gaff tape was invented.
Just smile and nod.
Sure. But the mental game
Yeah.
at these levels is a factor, particularly as you go up the ladder, so to speak, it becomes more and more critical.
Yeah, I'll definitely listen to anyone who's willing to tell me their mistakes or
Okay. Yep.
what they've experienced, while they were shooting with wind calls and things like that. But then I just try and take the little bits that I need and not worry about, if they're, caught up in their own mind as well, and not let that affect you. And just, maybe go with your gut feeling on some sort of stuff. Like some people might say, oh, the wind's really, really howling out there. And you think, oh, I don't know. But yeah, I don't know. I just try not to let other people influence me too much.
Do you find that could certainly be a problem where someone's saying, oh, this target's really hard, it's really difficult, it's really challenging, et cetera, and then you've sort of gamed yourself out of that target because you just figured so bloody hard, and then you look back on it afterwards, you're like, probably could have actually hit that. Actually, that's one of my strengths.
Yeah. I'll just turn around and go, watch me.
Hold my beer. Why are you drinking, Andy? Off the range. Oh yeah.
No, that's it. I mean, I definitely, as everyone else would, is watch a stage and watch other people run it. And if you think you've got enough time to take more shots or gauge your own speed, yeah, definitely.
Do you have any little processes or procedures that you do sort of every time you're doing things?
Yep. Yeah, so I'll definitely, maybe about 3 shooters before me, just really watch what they're doing in terms of the order of the targets and the order of the stage, and then figure out if that's the order I want to do it or not. And then I'll write my dope in terms of the order of targets that I want to hit.
Mhm.
And then just go through the real simple stuff of, like if I can walk up to my rifle beforehand, check the magnification, check the parallax, check I'm zeroed or dialed to the right thing first, check my cards on, the data cards on, look at the ground you're on, check your bipod height, and then work out, okay, I'm going to need this bag or this bag. Yeah, just go through that sort of stuff. And then just probably, obviously that would have been done earlier on, but and then maybe 1 or 2 shooters beforehand, just run through the stage in my mind mentally.
Yep.
So I know exactly what I need to do when. That's
Gotcha.
about it. Not rock up and go, what's the stage? What are we doing? Yeah.
Yep, that happens.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
okay.
if you need to, if the RO is saying, do you understand the course of fire? If you got any doubt, just say,
Ask.
just talk it through them, and they'll either say yes or no.
Yeah, much better to find out then than afterwards.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
That's a really fair point. Any other thoughts from anyone?
No, I'm pretty rubbish at it, so I'm not really one.
Yeah, I'll probably do a similar thing to you, Andy, in terms of like, sort of chat away and do the things. But then we're about sort of 2 or 3 shooters out, depending on how many in the squad. We'll sort of
Knuckle down and
sort of not just go into his own, just not really talk to anyone, and just focus on getting the gear ready, everything prepped, and all that sort of gear.
Yep.
And then run through the stage, and whatever happens. So be it. And then probably take another shooter after that to just rethink, put everything away, get off the range, and then think about it for a moment, reevaluate it, and then just dump it, leave it there, and then move. Go back to the squad and. Usually jump in and RO something or just yak about and then sort of go through that cycle and don't try and carry those problems with you for the next stage. Learn from the mistakes, but don't carry it on.
Yeah. And while you're standing there waiting for that shooter to finish, that's when I'll probably pay a lot of attention to the wind. I'll probably look then the most just before I'm about to shoot.
Yep. Very good. So Greg Hamilton, I'm not sure if that was that's what you're talking about, but that's what we did. Have you got actually from things you guys have seen? Have you seen anyone with particular routines or particular processes that they do?
I've seen Andy just laughing and joking and carrying around. So
Yeah.
it looked like fun. But then he just said that's what he was doing, and it sounds really serious. I don't even know if I want to do this anymore. I thought this was gonna be fun. You're like, no, you've actually got to pay attention if you want to do well. Attention.
It's only if you want to do well, though.
What do I want to do? Do I want to be near the top by myself or just with everyone else at the bottom?
Yeah.
Probably everyone else at the bottom,
Yeah.
having a laugh.
Around the
Yeah,
campfire.
it went bang in that. Oh, it's a bit sore. Like,
You're in the
Hey,
fishing
just be
camp.
grateful it went bang.
Yeah, that's the bit Bronte's trying to work out at the moment.
I was going to say, I better check my firing pin protrusion.
That sounds like a
Now.
euphemism for something. Good. All right. So next question. Rimfire questions. Now, this is Luke who hit us up with 2 questions.
Greedy.
I know. Well, it's not the greediest, though. Luke hit us up with first one was CZ455 versus 457, 20-inch or 16-inch, varmint or sporter, ha, ha, ha.
I don't understand the ha 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 part.
He's just a happy person.
He's just enjoying life.
That's why I don't understand it.
Ugh,
And then he
he's
said,
going to be down the bottom with us.
Rimfire build ideas, suggestions, tips. So we're talking rimfire and putting something together to shoot matches. Is the thought here? Let's varmint or sporter? Let's tackle that one first. Barrel profiles.
Heaviest profile you can get your hands on, pretty much.
I believe it's called a varmint.
What?
A varmint.
Okay, good.
But
Alright.
be the heaviest profile I could get with it.
Yeah, which is varmint.
Well, no. There's,
Target.
well,
You can
yeah,
get
I
a
get
Oh,
target.
good shot on the target. Is that a varmint?
Good. So one of those.
hey,
One of those then.
Well, you can get heavier profiles. You
Yeah,
get a
you
straight
can.
taper.
You can.
Not from factory.
That wasn't the question.
So,
part of the question.
The question was
Nah.
varmint or sporter, so that's not the question either.
Ah, well.
But yeah,
I-
the heavier one. The heavier one's probably going to be more inclined. It gives you more weight in the gun and it sits better and those sort of things. Particularly at the rimfire level, it doesn't really. You can go fairly heavy on a rimfire and it's still not that heavy overall as an overall package. 20-inch or 16-inch? Apparently, there's no other options. 20-inch or 16? That's it. What do you think?
20.
Ooh.
I'd lean towards the 20, but yeah.
Well, I've heard, not sure who it was now, it was a couple of years ago, but he was saying with,
Was it a guy from the internet?
Bloke from the
I
internet.
was a bloke chatting to, I think, in some gun show, but he shoots a lot of 22 target stuff.
Mhm.
And he was saying with your barrel length and using subsonics and burn rates of powder and stuff, that you all your powder might get burnt up within the first 16 inches, and then the last few, your bullets actually starting to slow down through the barrel. Would that sort of make sense?
Yeah, there is a little bit of thought process in that, and
Yeah.
and the Sweet 16 has been sort of thought around 22s for a long time. It's not as hard or fast because it does depend on ammo and all that
Yeah,
sort of gear
that's
you're
it.
running, of course. But I would tend to go for a bit of a shorter barrel,
Mm.
16, 18, something like that myself, because you're not
bit
burning all your
more
powder through
Manoeuvrable
to
as well.
20.
You just-
Yeah, so. But if you are wanting to mimic some stuff from your centerfire, perhaps you want to go a little longer. I don't know. We'll talk about that a bit later. There's a question on that. I'd probably be happy with 16, something like that. I'm guessing he's looking at a particular model, and they come in those two options. So, yeah, I'm going to go 16. The room's divided. I think Andy's on 16. The other two lads on 20. There we go. Stalemate. Perfect.
16 varmint.
Target.
At least mine's legal.
What's wrong?
Age. Oh, God, you take so long to catch up.
Okay, 455 versus 457. Anyone had any experience with both?
I never got past the 4.52.
Okay.
I quite like the 4.52. I don't really like the switch barrel thing in the 4.55. I don't know what a 4.57 does, but
Yep.
there you go.
Haven't-
Okay, I have a 452. I have three 452s. I've got a 455, and I've not got a 457. So none of us are really up to speed on this. However, I'm with you, Dutchy. I prefer the 452. I believe the 457 is a little bit of a more throwback to that. Comes with a little bit more.
Yeah,
of that
I've seen a
mentality.
catalogue with them in there, but I've never handled one or shot one.
I've
So
played with one, but not shot one.
Yeah.
So, if I was going to buy one now, I would definitely be buying the 457. I have a 455. Yesterday, actually, last night, as I was getting ready to go to the range, one of the guns that I forgot to take with me, I changed the barrel over. I've had this gun for about 6 years. I changed the barrel over for the second time in 6 years, back from 22 down to 17 HMR, or up to, whichever way you look at it. And that's the second time I was utilising the switch barrel feature. That was the big selling point for these guns. So, yeah,
Yeah.
just buy two of them in each calibre if you're going to do that, to be fair. Right. Rimfire build ideas, suggestions. I mean,
Voodoo.
a little bit broader. Yeah, Voodoo, if you're going to go
With the
pimped out.
heaviest profile you can get.
Target.
straight. Or as they
Yeah,
like.
Are you back on
Who is I'm trying to be that cricket commentator. Is it Tony Gregg?
Sure.
Tony Gregg? I don't know.
I
One
think
of them.
so.
And he's
Yeah.
like, yeah, blah, 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 vomit.
Okay.
He doesn't. He sounds a lot better than that. That's just me butchering an attempt at his accent.
Well, I'm glad someone's having an attempt. You're doing better than the other three of us.
Yeah, exactly. I'm,
Smashing it.
keen. Give me a rifle, pay for my ammo. I'm there.
I'll do all the accents you want.
Yeah,
All
of them.
accents.
All accents.
Including the precision ones.
Oh yeah, I'll try. Sorry, I was just thinking like, maybe I'm thinking of the guy off the 12th Man who's actually ripping off that guy's accent, and it's like a further step away, and that's why none of you know what I'm doing.
Yeah, I think so.
Not onion. Yeah.
Good. All right,
I'm
practice.
having fun. I don't care.
Practice.
guys too
practice,
serious.
Practice.
Nah, I don't practice.
No.
How do you practice? Well, we've answered that one. And do you? Here's an interesting question. Well, how do you practice? Do any of you boys practice?
Only
Nods
hunting.
don't work, Andy. Nods don't work, mate. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like, I don't mean to be coy, but all aspects need to be practiced. Mag change, magnification change.
Well, wasn't that a point at the Steel
Everything.
Apocalypse match?
Mag
Everything.
loading.
Mag
Yeah.
loading, mag changing. 'Cause,
Getting into position.
yeah,
Yeah, everything.
Just
So,
on
yeah.
the mag side of things, so many people had so many matches prior to that were 8 or 10 round stages for the majority of them. So not a lot of mag changes. Where nearly every stage of the Steel Apocalypse involved a mag change, at least one.
Bad thing, because
Yeah,
that's
it's
one
great.
of those
It's
things
great.
that you can make a lot of time or you can
Yeah.
lose a lot of time on a mag change.
And it was evident. I think a lot of guys took the lesson away from that match of, oh, I better practice changing mags.
Yeah. Once you feel comfortable changing mags and think you've got it really good, film yourself and it'll destroy any confidence you once had.
I did that. And I thought I was pretty quick. I think my time on a mag change was like 1.8 seconds or something like that.
That is
which is quick. I got that down to like 1.2 or something like that. I filmed myself and I saw that I hit the mag into the mag wall 3 times before I got it in. Bang, bang, and then in. I went, well, that sucks. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's-
I hope you shoot better than you change mags, mate.
Which wouldn't be hard.
No, I don't. Mag
Nah.
changing. Mag changing is my best skill in there.
Third time lucky, they say.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So 3 times lucky sometimes.
Yeah, I think like practicing a lot of things like clearing brass that hasn't ejected properly,
Yep.
even, not unforeseeable, but uncommon things, just so it's
Mm.
more like muscle memory when you go to do it.
It's probably something that's
Shooting sideways,
Yeah.
not having your hat in the way.
Yep.
Mm.
Yep.
Probably the stoppage sort of thing is probably something that more probably the the semi-automatic people would deal with more. But
True.
you're right though.
Mm.
If you get a case that doesn't eject properly, and then it's stuck in the chamber and you try to get it out and all those sorts of things, and then you got to instead of dropping
Oh,
the magazine, and then you got to try to jam the next one up behind it, and then it all really gets bad from there.
Yeah, even if it
It doesn't
Like,
clear completely
it,
out. Yeah.
it extracts but doesn't eject out, and you're
Yeah.
like trying to mash it in there, and you don't know what's going on.
Yeah, that's it. I'll drop the mag. Oh, yeah, that helped.
Yeah.
Put it back in.
work out your routine, I suppose.
Yeah.
And then practice it. So when it does happen, it's just a matter of going, oh, that's happened. Bang, go to my 5-step process. Bang, close the bolt. We're back in action.
Yep.
So yeah, practice is key for me because I never get out. That's all I get to do.
That's what you get today. Yeah. Andy.
Just something that crossed my mind then was maybe getting to know what cycling the bolt onto an empty chamber feels like.
Sounds like even.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
that is actually a pretty good point because I can't say I've ever actually had the whole close the bolt and click and go, oh, shit, oops.
Yeah.
But I've seen a lot of people do it, and it's one of those things that you're just really conscious of. Yes, I can feel the extra resistance of picking
Yeah.
up and around
Yeah.
That's
versus not picking up and around.
Yeah.
sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. That's a 30-second.
Yeah.
30,
Depends on the range.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it depends on the range.
yeah.
Either way, it's a bad day.
Yes.
Because you should definitely feel some
But even-
resistance pushing forward.
Even if it's no penalty, it's still the fact that you took the time to close up around
Yeah.
it. Like it's 5-second, 10-second penalty built into the fact that you just didn't take a shot.
Got yourself in position. Oh, this is going to be a great shot and click. Shit, that's right.
Yeah.
It helps when there's ammunition in there.
So it doesn't. It's a penalty either way. When we were back running the public shooting range stuff, I could pick it on a 22 by sound because we went through hundreds of thousands of rounds at that place, and I remember like someone would close up on an empty, and these are relatively new shooters. I'm like, just stop for a second, and they're like, why? I'm like, you haven't got a round in the chamber. They're like, how do you know that? Well, just try it. And they opened it up and there was nothing in there. I'm like,
I am
Yeah, you just-
Rimfire and Nadamas.
yeah, that's exactly right.
Yoda
Just
of rimfire.
could hear it on a rim
spoke to me.
Empty chamber you have there.
Yeah.
The only reason for that is because, as I said, hundreds of thousands of rounds went through that place, and you'd be listening, for it, and you just, oh yeah, that didn't sound right, and you're right, like practicing that feel, it doesn't feel right, or it doesn't sound right, or whatever it may be. Yeah, you don't get that resistance. Yeah, it'll. I've seen guys who have practiced that and do know it, and you watch them close up, and then like cock their head for a second, pull it back open, check, and then like change their mag or put the mag in or tap it back up or something on those lines, and they pick it and they don't, like they save. I'm looking there going, don't pull the trigger, whatever it might be. And yeah, they've worked it out really quick. So it's really good to.
you are going
to
to
do that.
practice that.
Yep.
Maybe use snap caps. Just FYI.
Yep.
Yep. If you're at home.
Mm. Yep.
Oh, is that why my neighbours hate me? Every time they just look at me
No,
like,
they don't mind the ones that doesn't go
"It's so
back.
noisy," and I'm like, "Huh?
What?
I don't know what you're talking about."
Where do all these holes in the fence come from?
Oh, they were there when I bought the house.
Birds flying too fast
Farming problem.
Good.
and stopping
Varmint.
quickly.
So, right, I'm not sure we've covered that, but practicing. How do you
No, I
practice?
think.
So,
Well, I don't think you can practice enough. To be
Hey,
honest.
one of the things I think Gary, this is from Gary. I don't know if we mentioned his name, Gary. This is one of the things that I try to do, and I talked about my administrative day at the range today, but I went there with a plan and went there with certain things that I wanted to achieve, and the same would go if you were going to go there to practice. You're going to go, right, I'm going to do this on this barricade, and I'm going to practice standing shooting or practice with the sling or whatever it is, and go and do those things. Just enact them. Having a plan rather than rocking up the range and then you start getting distracted from talking to someone, which is all good fun. That's all what you're there to do, but you can often get back and finish the day and pack it all up and go, I only did about a quarter of what I was intending to do, and I really didn't actually get a lot from that. He also says the next part of his question was,
Oh,
do you
hang
use-
on. I've
Oh,
just
sorry.
I've got to
Let's go back to it.
just on the whole practice.
Another
thing.
aspect.
Yeah, with your training, I suppose. There's a saying that we've always used
I thought you were
on
gonna
this
say,
podcast.
there's
Always.
a
I mean, every
there's
time I come in here, it's always this. We start our session off with like amateurs train until they get it right, whereas professionals train until they get it wrong. And I got stuck with these guys. So like, I don't know what's
so
going on.
we get it wrong a lot.
So
Yeah.
does that mean we're professionals? Because I'm not feeling the vibe.
No,
Right.
we still haven't got it right. That's the whole thing. We're still like, when we get it right, we'll be like, we are kings of the world
Yeah.
podcast.
Okay. So
Whereas a professional would be like, that's just another day at the office. Where does it go wrong and why does it go wrong? Just because you start to get it right, don't stop because
Yep.
what are you going to do when it goes wrong?
knowing how to deal with it when it goes wrong.
Mm.
We've got a long way to go, gentlemen.
Mm.
I generally just hit this button.
I hit this one.
It's a good button to hit, actually.
Yeah,
good
memory.
Yeah.
See, I memorized them all.
They are all red now. All right, next question. Jamie Miller, how many rounds through a new barrel before starting load development? Any ideas?
2.
maybe
Two?
3.
Maybe 3?
I don't know.
Okay.
1 or 2 to bore side it, and then you're good to go.
And then go. Okay.
Load development being a continual thing.
Yeah. I guess it kind of comes down to how you do your load development, though. Because myself, I don't really shoot groups until I've actually already got my velocities all nailed down and my standard deviations are low. And then I'm adjusting seating depth to get my groups to look somewhat like I'd like them to look.
Okay. So one of the thoughts out there, and not just a thought, is that things speed up as you get a few rounds down your range. And so Trent, who many of you guys know, Trent sent me a photo the other day of his velocities 10 rounds in to his gun. He didn't do much load development on it. He basically just sort of picked a load, went with it, shot bloody 0.3 a minute.
It's
and
pretty awful.
It's pretty horrible. And his SD was 8. He didn't
Also
change his
pretty awful.
load. Yeah, didn't change his load, and he increased about 38 feet per second from the 10 rounds, and then and that was a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He shot 10 rounds over after the first 10 rounds. He shot over chronograph, and he ended up with 8 SD, 28 ES, and average of 2,691. After 175 rounds, he ran another 15 across the chronograph, and he ended up with a SD of under 5, ES of 18, and gained just over 38 feet per second from where he started. So over those 160 odd rounds, he had picked up a little bit of speed on a brand new barrel.
Yep. But what did he sort of suggest what his groups looked like after? You know, his 15 rounds that he shot after the fact, were they still grouping
Don't
pretty
know.
well?
Don't
or
know.
were
I don't
they
know that
now
data.
blown out to 3 minutes and throw it away and start again? Based on his SDs look.
Yeah.
His second lot of SDs is great.
Yep.
You sure as hell wouldn't argue with that.
But the potential there, I guess the thought there is that perhaps he's onto a different node as he's increased
wouldn't
40
think
feet
he'd-
per second.
I think it'd be pretty unlikely
Yep.
to have a node 40 feet per second apart
Yep.
at 2,700
But
feet per
he
second.
could be off the node. It's possible. Mm.
Could, yeah.
I generally, and so my practice has been to throw 150, like a bulk amount down the gun, get used to the gun, get familiar with it. That's going to help my shooting better than doing really intense load development straight up. Get familiar with the gun, run it on barricades and do this and bits and pieces for 100 and so rounds, and then getting into something a little bit more detailed. That's been my practice. So
Sort of depend on your caliber as well, because you've got a caliber that's only good for 1,000 rounds before the barrel's roached.
sure.
Yeah, you use 10% of your barrel before you actually start, and then depending how you do your load development, you're probably looking at conservatively 50 rounds to get a really rock solid, comfortable load.
My last one was 9, but okay.
But is that fully? But
Yep.
did you have anything going into it, or was that just
Nothing.
blank slate?
Blank slate.
That's quite fortunate.
It's gone down some particular methods and tried, but yeah, 9 rounds and the last 3 went okay. Run with that, and then develop, then reloaded that, and it worked great, and then moved on from there. So yeah, but anyway, that's sort of different ways of doing things. One day, I'm sure we'll cover in depth on load development and some different theories and ideas on that. That'll be really good. But Jamie, how many rounds we're split on this this thought? Many guys just get a couple down range and then go for it. There are some who do that. I have, having said all this, a number of years ago when I borrowed a Tikatake 1 when they first came out, and I had the privilege of borrowing one for a little while, I ran a chronograph on that thing on the same day, fresh barrel, and then turned rounds in, and didn't see any difference. So results may vary. Your results
But
may
I
vary.
think the point that you're checking it as well is part of that development, I suppose, to a point. Like, not so much you're changing anything, but still checking that what you think you have is what you have.
Yep.
At a later date, I guess you could throw that into load development
Yeah, keeping an eye on it.
broadly.
keep it-
Yeah,
Well, that load validity, call it,
Yeah.
where, okay, great, I've got a load that shoots acceptable accuracy or
Yeah.
acceptable precision, great SD.
Yep.
At 200 rounds through the barrel. Now, at 700 rounds through the barrel or 500 rounds through the barrel,
What's it doing?
what's it doing?
Yeah.
And I know,
Is that Dimple?
It is
yeah,
Dimple.
I should have walked here.
Do you want some?
No, I can't.
yeah, I'm thinking the same, but it's way too far to walk. No amount of dimples worth that walk.
No. Well,
Yeah, no.
I don't know.
I'm not walking 50 Ks
Oh yeah, I just
or 40 Ks or
not
whatever it
that
is.
far, and it's all downhill.
That's not quite as bad then.
So opinions vary, Jamie. Opinions vary.
Sorry,
That's
sorry.
right.
I just saw the dimple and went, "Oh, hello."
It's quite a distinctive bottle, isn't it, with a nice lace on the outside.
It's good. Speaking of Dimple, another question from Aaron. Aaron, appreciate the question. Maybe frame it a little clearer. I'll read it verbatim, and then we'll try and work out exactly what we're doing. SD, BC, ballistic tips, and monolithics. 204 versus 2D3. What hammers the nail harder?
The largest hammer. Traveling with the greatest momentum.
Look, I will clarify. We're all aspects of precision and long-range rifle shooting, not carpentry.
Well, it could be a dead blow hammer for panel beating.
Sorry. Yep. Okay.
All
See,
aspects.
lacking all aspects of other items. I mean,
That's right.
we
It's
probably-
shooting adjacent. You could be knocking a dent caused by a muzzle break or bullet hole. I don't know. Yeah, we digress.
right. I think the crux. I'm gonna guess the crux of the question from Aaron is 204 versus 223.
I
Bronte,
thought
you
it was about evolution. And
yeah. Monolithic.
monolithic, and there's
Yeah.
another one in there. BC.
Let's let's deal with 204 versus 223 first, and then we'll delve into the deeper problems of life. You've probably got the most experience with 204s, Bronte.
Personally, for a spotlighting style rifle, my favourite is a 204 with a 40 grain VMAXs. They are a really great combination, and that's my go-to for foxes and whatever else.
Yep.
And you look at the ballistic performance of that versus everyone's favourite load with their 22-250 with 55s or 50s. Ballistically, you're better on wind.
Okay.
And you're a lot quieter. And, yeah, it's a more enjoyable round. And, ballistically, you're
Okay.
the same, if not better.
I mean, compared to a 2-3, they are very different. You're far better with your analogy or your comparison to a 22-50 because that's a lot closer to what they are. And so 204 versus 2-3, it's going to be 204 every time. 204.
However, if you want to run factory ammo, the 2-3 is pretty convenient from that perspective.
Absolutely, from a convenience point of view, yeah, absolutely. And 204 versus 22-50, I went to 22-50. The advice I was given, this is many years ago, and I didn't know as much then, still lacking in plenty of aspects, but that's why you guys are here. The 22-50 was less finicky with loading. Now, I've had multiple stories that 204s can be a little harder to get shooting well, and particularly when I was starting out in that side of things, that was a concern for me. Now, would I be concerned now? Probably not so much. Bronny, any truth to that in your experience?
I haven't had a huge amount of experience with 22-250.
Yep.
But the couple that I have had been involved in, the reason I was involved in is because they weren't working and I couldn't get them to bloody work. They there must have been another problem somewhere else.
That seems like it's more.
And it was, they were just a bloody pig of a thing. An inch and a half was at 100 metres was the best. No matter what you tried, that was all it would do.
The 204s, just to be clear, the 204s that I'm referencing all ended up shooting well. They just took a little bit of time. They weren't like problematic of something's wrong here.
Yeah.
They were, a little bit more finicky, a little bit more seating depth sensitive, those sort of finer details. I ended up, I've had 22 22-50s. No, incorrect. I've had 3 22-250s in my life. All of them shot the same load and all of them shot under half a minute with the same load.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
I'm incredibly lucky with that. I will admit that, but they seem to be fairly resilient. That's a word, isn't it?
Resilient.
Yeah. Back onto my radio career. Good.
Yeah.
Okay, so what's our answer for that? 204 is definitely a harder hitting hammer than 2-3.
Yeah, a 204 over a 2-3 would be my personal preference because I reload. If I was essentially forced to use factory ammo, I would probably lead towards a 2-3 over a 204 purely because the price, availability of different options. Yep. Granted, that has improved with the 204, but you still are kind of limited to 32 grain or 40 grain. Yeah. It either works or it doesn't, and if it doesn't, well, you shit out of luck sort of thing. There's not a lot of options on that front.
Assuming the SD, BC, ballistic tips and monolithics are all related to that particular question, SD is going to probably come down to how well you load, so it's irrelevant.
Probably 2-3 might be a little bit more forgiving in that because of your powder stack ratio versus your projectile diameter. Is probably a little bit more forgiving, but
BC
splitting hairs.
You're going to trump a lot of that with your velocity. You'll get out.
Well, your BC if you run a 40 grain 204 projectile, the BC of those versus the comparable weight in 2-3 is way better.
Sure, yeah, but I mean, throw a 90 grainer down there and you got a decent BC. So
but you're not going to be punching that same velocity.
That's exactly right. So the 204 is going to win on velocity over that one. Ballistic tips, monolithics. Choose what you want in that.
I haven't seen too many monolithic 204s.
Lehigh is probably about the only options in 204 and 2-3s. There's limited. I mean, Barnes as well, but sort of limited in some options there. They'll hammer pretty hard. So, anyway, that's it. Well, guys, thanks for the questions. We got a few more questions. We're going to hit them up in the next episode, which we're going to do now. But guys, checking it out, thank you for that. Thanks to our Patreon supporters for watching, watching, one of the two. Thanks for your support. And what is coming up? The Buchan, the Ignition Custom Winter Classic is the next PRS match. Andy's all set to go. Come over there, and he's got some stiff competition over there. David Taylor's heading over as well. So, mate, you could be... You could be up for. I know Robbie. Robbie's gone up to open. Anyway, it should be good.
Nah, you'll be a cakewalk. Don't worry. I wouldn't even practice.
There's nothing like working away for 4 weeks and not
Yep.
doing any loading or anything.
Anything.
just-
Yeah. Ready to rock and roll.
Yep,
So
that's it.
that should be really good. So looking forward to that match.
No
Looking forward-
practice, literally.
Perfect. That's the way.
Hate to be that guy.
Yeah, you would. You would. All right. Well, we got some more questions for the next show. The next questions are a little bit more PRS, directly PRS related, and also we got some announcement about all aspects. So we'll get into that then. Thanks for listening. Cheers, guys.
What were we doing then?
I don't
If that
know.
wasn't PRS related.
The other ones are more direct. You'll see. Just wait. You
Oh,
guys
I
at home,
can't wait.
Wait till next.
I got to
week.
wait a whole week.
Yeah, whole week, mate. Whole week.
Time flies.
Thanks for listening to the Precision Shooting Podcast. To continue the discussion, check out our Facebook page. And for more information, head to our website, www.precisionshootingpodcast.com.au. This episode was brought to you by Impact Dynamics.